Alright, gang, I'm sitting here with Christian Cipollini, noted author.
Wow. I'll take it.
And I tell you, this guy right here would call a mob historian. This gentleman has quite a few facts and photos that a lot of people would love to have in their collection. A lot of information and stories that people think they know, but maybe really don't know. So, Mr. Cipollini, as we sit here tonight at the Dark History and Horror Convention, first, just give me your overall opinion of the convention this year and the folks that you met.
Well, first of all, this is the most eclectic kind of event I've ever been at, which is part of the draw. I mean, we all do our specific things and I don't know, demographics. This one had everything. So the entertainment value alone, even for the guests, was awesome. And of course, it's always an honor to just be asked. Anybody gives a shit that we do it. I mean, it is. It always still gets me, like, pinch myself. People actually want to see us and meet us and read our things or watch our things. It's great. I think it's that dream you can't even absorb. It's true.
Right?
So, yeah, it's awesome. And thanks to badasses like you taking your time to sit down with my unfiltered mouth.
A couple of chuckleheads here.
Yeah. I'm down with it.
So listen, we were talking earlier, you've written extensively about the mob. I'm pretty familiar with the New England mob, the Chicago outfits.
Right.
But you're the man to go to when it comes to the Detroit mob and what went on in Detroit.
Well, with the Detroit mob, and I got to give a lot of props out to guys like Scott Bernstein and some others that really guided me. And when I went into it, my expertise, if you will, is 1970s, the narcotic heyday of the black gangsters and Italian gangsters and how they worked in this weird synchronicity, if you will.
A little symbiosis.
Yeah, it was, and it really started in the 60s, but in the 70s, you can't make the stuff up. From hitmen and espionage and the Italians knocking off these guys, but the black guys working with the Italians, and things that at that time period were so, everybody was so separated and segregated, but it was weird that crime is where things kind of came together, and not to say that that's great, but Detroit has a lot, and that goes back to even before my experience. Like guys like Bernstein know about their Prohibition era, which, let's just say Detroit is an awesome town. They got a bad rap because of the crime, just like Chicago did during its, and New York.
Right.
But really, it's because there's just so much there, and even the crime is so fascinating. And it's part of the society, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, in a way, weird way.
Now, one guy that you've written about, that's turned into a comic book.
Oh,
Called Lucky up there.
yeah. Who is that guy?
I don't know, some guy named Lucky.
Lucky Luciano. This one's really close to my heart, and those who know me probably get way sick and tired of me talking about it. But Lucky Luciano, I never knew where this would go and who I would really focus on, but for some reason that I'm not going to go into now because I can't even answer it, but I've been drawn to Luciano probably because the book, The Last Testament of Luciano, was so fascinating. When 20 years ago, I read this, found it at a book fair for 50 cents, read it, thought, wow, this part of history is something I didn't know a lot about. Loved it, and then I found out it was probably not that accurate, and I wanted to cry, and it ruined my world. And then I decided one day, one thing led to another. I'm like, I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to try to get it right. And then I got a chance to do a comic book version. Here, I'm going to add to it and put the stuff that wasn't in the book. Just my goal, life goals, hashtag. I wanted to get the Lucky Luciano story right for once.
Well, that's something you and I were talking about a little bit earlier today was, you've got the major players, you've got the Luckies, and you've got the Owls,
right.
And, you've got the...
And they were all in cahoots together.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys that were in the background, maybe just minor players, maybe major players that didn't want to be known.
That is, earlier when we were talking, it was a great question, because, yeah, and I don't get asked that one a lot. I think what makes these major gangsters, mobsters, drug lords so fascinating is the supporting cast. And I hate to use the word supporting because they were really what was going on. All these guys, it was a giant ensemble. And a lot of them were more shadowy, that names maybe pop up in a book here or there, and I'm kind of drawn to be, oh, well, where did I see that? I'm going to find out who that guy is.
Who was that guy? What was he doing?
Who were they? And then you find out there's entire books worth of stories behind them. And they were all part of an ensemble. I think what we talked about earlier, biggest point ever, Capones and Lucianos would not have been who they were, or the figureheads, if it wasn't for all their friends. And that's not discrediting them, but they were all friends and had a network. We didn't know all their names for a long time.
But now
we do. And we also know what they were really into, and it wasn't all booze and gambling, I assure you. So next time somebody says mob doesn't deal drugs, I'll take you to a whole nother world.
So what's on deck for you? What's the next thing we can expect to see?
Okay.
Without giving away the farm.
I know you keep trying to pry this one out of me. All right, let's just say for the last 5 years, I've been collecting information and things for an idea that I thought maybe one day I would do. And I've been talking to somebody, I'm not going to say if he's here or not. In a few months, we're really going to put it down in an outline, but let's just say there may be another book. There may be other things with that, and there's definitely going to be more comic book coming. Those are already written, and we've got just... I know I'm so cryptic, but I have to be like Lucky. I'll tell you some of it because I like to, but the rest is cryptic. I can't say yet, I know. But I promise it'll be good. It's not a rehash or a reinventing the wheel of crap that's already out there.
Nothing craptastic.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do that. I mean, and I even know when I've made mistakes and need to repair them, even in stuff. And I love about this genre is we can write something else and fix. Okay, we messed up, or somebody before us messed this up.
We can get it right.
At some point, we're going to get it right, and there's always going to be a secret around the corner, though, that throws us off. But that's what's fun about it.
Well, gang, Mr. Christian Cipollini, if you want to know about gangsters, this is your man, and there's a whole lot more to come in the future. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. I love it.